Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet?
I love people as I meet them one by one. People are just wonderful as individuals. You see the whole...
My great aspiration, my greatest ambition is to be so good. Now, in that way, I'm tiresome, as I suppose, to live with, because I want to be a fantastic human being.
I am the greatest.
We're not disputing that, Cassius, but how does Sonny Liston feel about it?
He can't feel but one way, and let's take everything I say and like it. Because February the 25th, I'm going to take back my job. I'm the champ. He's no champ. He's a tramp.
When you see men fall, don't laugh. Learn. Learn. Because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation.
What up, YouTube? Peace and blessings. I hope all is well with everybody. Happy Thursday. We are back. We are live.
Down the Mongo.
I hope all is well. It's an honor and privilege to be with you guys one more day, man. Kind of find myself fighting the cold, but we getting it in, man. Like, when there's a will, there's a way. And we back at it. We got another interesting show for you. I got my co-host in the building for this evening. Shout out to Rob. Shout out to Anna, Sydney, and everybody who's been locking in with us over the last couple of weeks. I thank you. Tomorrow, it is about that time, man. We right there. The virtual open mic, the Attic is back. Make sure you tap in. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is going down, and I am excited. We got some new faces coming up. This is going to be a goodie for sure. Let me bring this up real quick too, just in case. If you ever want to join the show, the open mic, even give you a testimony, because Cryptic Creed Paranormal will be returning very soon. I keep saying it. I will be bringing it back. Let's get into tonight's show, though. I got Jason in the building. I'm gonna bring him up and let me know y'all thoughts. Bro, come on. What's up? What's
going on, bro? How's it going?
It's Thursday, meaning tomorrow is Friday, which means I am great.
Well, today is Thursday. Today's Thursday. It's 5:05 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, so that means I'm doing awesome.
That's what's up. Hey, look, Anton Daniels did a show yesterday, and the story was about Michael Jordan's son, getting arrested. He got arrested under the influence, and he had a substantial amount of illegal substance found in
nose
his
candy. Yep.
Yes. So what the conversation ended up being about was, do children of celebrities, famous basketball players, et cetera, do they live normal lives? Are they held to the same pressures and obligations as their parents, and so on and so forth? They spent about 30 minutes talking about whether or not he was a regular person versus if he was. No, he's not. How can you say he's a regular person? He's driving around with a Lamborghini, et cetera. So I just wanted to go into this one because, like, to me, he's not a regular person. But I think what the argument was is he has a matter of fact, I don't even know what the hell he was talking about. So was this an embarrassment to Jordan? Does this directly affect him? I mean, how do you feel about a celebrity's child going off the path of the father or the mother? And does it really impact them in any type of way?
So whenever I get into these conversations, the first thing I do is I strip away the idea of status. I think it is the stupidest thing ever that we assign status to people and then elevate them to a level that is outside of normality because of the status that they have, and status being brought on by wealth or through birthright, because of, even that term is stupid, but because of the family they were raised by and the opportunities they had because of the wealth they have. I think it's dumb because it deifies the idea that there are certain people who are allowed certain privilege because of the status that they have, and I think that's wrong. I think status is an illusion that is used to divide people. So with that out of the way, I want to talk about the actions, because I will agree that the actions of this person are not the actions of a normal everyday person who lives in a reality where a person would be held accountable for their actions. So in that sense, yes, I do think that he was shielded quite a bit. He was probably coddled. I think in some ways his parents failed him a little bit. Do I think that he is a blemish on his parents' name? No. I think that he is a result of his parents' upbringing, of the way that his parents brought him up. I think that his parents, they live a life because of their financial situation, and they have removed themselves from the consequences that most people experience because they were able to, and shielded their kids from that kind of experience as well. And because of that, this is what we get. We get someone who is frustrated, who does not understand that actions have consequences and feels he can do whatever he wants. And then he comes into the real world, or the world where consequences do exist, where he is not the center of attention, where his family has zero influence because the world is much bigger than his sphere of influence. And he fucks around and finds out. And I think this is exactly what we see. We see someone who is understanding the way that the world really works. And unfortunately, he had to experience as an adult, rather being exposed to this and taught life lessons that would prepare him for this kind of reality. Because regardless of your status, regardless of your financial upbringing or the privilege you have because of the financial abilities that you were either born into or that you created, you still have to live in reality. Reality is still going to be there when you come out of your illusion. And it behooves you to ensure that your children understand this as well. I yield the mic.
Just being by societal standards, a regular person growing up in a nuclear home with regular parents doing regular work, if it's a healthy relationship between the mother and father, you as a boy or a girl, you look at your parents and you want to mimic them, or you want to make them proud. You take pieces of their personality, their work habit, how they operate around the home, in and out of the house, and you want to emulate that. Like the pressure on a daily basis for children to look at their siblings and their parents as superheroes and role models alone, at least from when I was growing up, was very important. Most people wanted to be like their parents, and those pressures right there was already something. But I think with him or anyone in his status or position, not that I agree with the divide that they do with this, but Michael Jordan is your father. Like Michael Jordan, when you think of Marcus Jordan, you don't really know him unless you know his father. So I automatically would assume that he would be a famous NBA player like he was, or he would be doing something similar to what he was doing, because I mean the name attached to him. But you've seen over the course of years people like Willow Smith, Jaden Smith. There's kid celebrities that don't do anything in the conventional way that their parents did it. And I often wonder if they're doing that because they want to separate themselves from that, or it's because if it's too much of a burden to try to live up to that.
Well, I don't know if it's a burden. I wonder if it's more of an aversion because of many different factors. Like, he may not see himself in the same way as Michael Jordan saw himself. He may not even see himself in the same way that Michael Jordan expects him to be. And that's okay. Every person is their own person. He may not have any desires to become an NBA player. He may not have the same skill level or even close to the motivation to create that skill level that Michael Jordan had. He could see the way that his father lived and the sacrifices that he made. Is like, no, that's not for me. There's so many reasons why he did not go into the NBA. It could be that there is some resentment between him and his father, him and his mother, maybe both, maybe the entire system. Maybe he has a completely different view and resents or rejects his life for whatever reason. I mean, we won't know unless we actually interview him. But what we do know is that there are a few reasons why he could have gone the way that he did, enjoying the lifestyle without having to put in the work. My guess, based on the fact that he was driving a Lamborghini, he was under the influence, he had a shit ton of coke on him, and he was evading police, evading a stop, and just acting a fool all in all, tells me that he just did not want to develop the discipline necessary because there was no motivation to do so. His parents did not put the pressure on to get him to do something. Michael Jordan had a lot of pressure to be who he became because of how he started out. He didn't start out as someone that was going to be well off if he did not make major moves. Anyone who's seen the story of Michael Jordan knows this. He did what he did because he had to, and he was good at it, and he had the right mentors to guide him along the way. Michael Jordan had a lot going for him to create the phenom who he became. Also had a father who was willing to beat his ass when he was acting a fool. And these things contributed to creating the life that Michael Jordan is known for, the GOAT in NBA. And when you have that kind of legend, when you are the son of that kind of person, and you have no pressure on you to do something with your life, to define yourself in a way that is going to make you stand out, you are allowed to coast. You are allowed to just be, because your parents want a better life for you than what they had, but they really don't understand what that means. They think it means easy. They think it means soft. But what it really means is opportunity, but still apply the pressure needed to make that opportunity a realization. I don't think that Marcus really had the pressure. I don't think he was subjected to the kind of pressure that Michael Jordan was. Because of that, he created the life that he did. I yield the mic.
This man started dating Scottie Pippen's ex-wife. Now, I don't know if that is a cry for help or what, but all the women that's out here in this world, of all people, with the tag that's on you, you telling me you go after Scottie Pippen's ex-wife, and on top of that, you spend the majority of your time in frivolous relationship. You coked up. You don't seem to know what you want to do with yourself. Like, I don't even know what he does professionally. I don't know what he does outside of being in drama or controversy. You don't hear about none of his other kids, Jordan's other kids. This is the only one that you hear about. And it makes me question just the whole parenting structure there. I want to put this out there too. I don't condone him driving under the influence. I think that's bullshit. I think he could have easily gotten somebody hurt or worse. People should not be driving under the influence at all in general. I don't care who you are. But go back to something you said about he never had pressure on him. So he's just that token celebrity kid who's just spoiled, and all he knows how to do is spend money and splurge. And based on this right here, I know he's done this before. This is not the first time that he's driven or done something under the influence. And oh, you such and such, I give you I give you a slap on the wrist. It's all right. Can I get your autograph? You know, people like him, it makes it hard for me to ever say he's normal. He's not normal. There's nothing normal about that. I think you did him a disservice by, I think any celebrity parent that's giving their children everything that they want is doing a disservice to their kids in general, because
that is a truth and a half.
Not, like, they can, because they feel like they can skip lines, they can skip the phone call, jump right and talk to the manager, this, that. They have all of these privileges that no one else has, and like that shit right there is corny to me. Absolutely corny to me. Now, what if he would have ended up killing someone or killing himself behind that wheel because of his privilege? Then what would people say? How would y'all respond to that then? Would there be empathy? Would there be a victim role? Would you blame Jordan? Would you blame his mom? Would this change anything? I really want to understand the logic, because based off of what I saw, he didn't really get any real punishment from this anyway. It seemed like they just kind of went easy on him. And I don't know. I see stories like this. I find it very, very distasteful. I don't necessarily believe that as a celebrity's kid, you have to follow the same footsteps as your parents either. But how do you end up on drugs, and how does that, like, I'm trying to figure that out. Like, Michael Jordan's your dad. How do you end up on this and that? How does that work?
Honestly, I honestly think that it's due to again, I'm gonna hold on to my guns, because it seems like you're agreeing with me with the assessment that I gave. As far as like there's no direction there, no pressure to do something with his life, so just kind of existing and doing all the things that come with that. But I think that as we delve more into this, it sounds like there's something even more going on. I wonder if he experienced some things that he just does not want to talk about. I wonder if he experienced, whether it be emotional abandonment or something more traumatizing, something that actually happened to him. I don't know. But I know that this kind of behavior is not normal. Like you said, it is not normal behavior. You don't just do this because you're bored. You don't go to cocaine and womanizing just because you're bored. When you're bored, boredom can sometimes be the greatest motivator to succeed. But when you're trying to escape something, when your goal is escapism, that's when this kind of behavior comes out. When you're trying to escape your reality because you can't deal with what it means. So as we're talking, yeah, I think there was a lack of pressure, and I think also there is a there's something that happened that he's just not dealing with. He's not coping well. I, for one,
That
would be
wouldn't
interested to
surprise
hear
me
what that
one
is.
bit. I think at some point there would be a story that comes out. At some point. They all do it eventually. Now, I don't know what his relationship is like with his people at all. So I couldn't tell you, but to me it just seemed like another spoiled rich kid finally got caught up playing around in his nose, and he got called out for it and exposed for it, and now he's getting the attention that he wants. I wonder what Jordan himself would say about this. You know, for a while it was he's dating Scottie Pippen's wife. That's all everybody was ever really talking about. I never brought it up because I didn't see the real importance or significance behind it. But now that I think about it, what would make you draw towards her with millions and millions of people out here that are younger, that don't have the same ties to someone or the same level of responsibility to another human being? They don't have kids. Why would you get involved with her? Could there have been trauma there? I wouldn't be surprised. Jordan ain't perfect. Neither is his wife. You don't get the same level of scrutiny or gossip placed on him as you would like P. Diddy or somebody like that. You don't. His name isn't. If you hear Jordan name, for the most part, they talk about how he was kind of a dickhead on the court. Little stuff like that. It's never really nothing that would have the FBI come out and investigate him. So I don't know. But let me ask you, if he wasn't attached to that last name, do you think his lifestyle would have ended up the same way?
Oh, hell no. His life, and well, I think that it would be different. If he was a Michael Jordan's son, he would absolutely be different. Okay, that's just weird. I was reading the comments. Yeah.
I think she just.
If Marcus was not Michael Jordan's son, who's to say how? There are so many infinite possibilities of what might be different. It's impossible to say for certain how things would turn out. I mean, it would be so different. And I think that it would it's impossible to really make any kind of speculation as to how different it would be. I mean, first of all, he wouldn't be saying I'm Michael Jordan's son. That's for damn sure. And if he wasn't a celebrity's son and pulled this kind of stuff, he'd be in jail. Absolutely, without a doubt. He would no parole. He would just be incarcerated, especially after a second offense. Come on. But Michael Jordan's response when he finally did break the silence, all he did was say, "Yeah, I'm focusing on the trophy room store, and will be keeping my efforts towards that." that's a little alarming from my stance, because why would, if your son is having issues, why would you just be focusing on the store? Why wouldn't you be more focused on getting your son the help that he needs? Why wouldn't you be doing more to figure out what is causing this kind of behavior? Unless, of course, you're saying, well, he's an adult. He'll do his own thing. Yeah, it's... Well, really, Greg, the reason why he said that was because he wanted to get out of trouble. People do that in order to get out of trouble. They want to avoid responsibility. That's why people attach themselves to notoriety. They think it'll help them get themselves out of trouble. They don't want to be held accountable for what they've done. They want to have the free ride without paying the cost. And the world doesn't work that way. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that he dropped the name because he wants to get out of it. Worked for him before. Why wouldn't it work for him again? So the question is, if he didn't have that name, if he didn't have that lineage, how would things be different? Drastically. We have no way of knowing. If he had conducted this behavior, like I said, he'd be. We would never have known about him. He would just be another footnote, another statistic. That's it. I yield the mic.
You know, a lot of people that have when Will Smith's kids crashed out on YouTube, Will Smith don't talk about it. I've never seen Will Smith really respond to any of that stuff at all. Jada Pinkett, if she talks about it, I don't know, because I don't tune in for her. But they really try their best to be political, tread very cautious about what they share on the internet, even though you put your entire life up here anyway in the first place. But they really thread the needle with what they do and what they don't do. I've never really heard Michael Jordan say too much about any of his kids, let alone Marcus in general, or the situation with Scottie Pippen's ex. And SM, if I can find it, I will share the link in the comments section. But it was basically just him getting in some trouble for driving under the influence. He tried to use his name and all of that crap to get out of any type of responsibility for his actions. My question was, does the pressure on celebrity kids essentially outweigh the pressures on regular children? Well, that's where I'm coming down the tunnel with. Because when I started out the stream, I was basically, in my opinion, saying, look, the average kid, they wanted to be like their parents. So what does that mean? What does that look like to you? It could vary. But with people like Beyonce, Blue Ivy, and stuff like that, I don't know. It's weird to me, bro. LeBron James' son, he's under pressure. That's one person I can think of that I know is under pressure. LeBron James has done everything in his power to get him on the same team as him and everything. I didn't see that with Marcus Jordan, though. So, like, it would be interesting to know what that household was like. Again, just reckless. I can't stand people who abuse their positions of power just to get away with doing crimes like that. That's crazy to me.
It's not really a position. There's no power. It is the perception of power, but there's no real power. That's the thing. Status does not equate power. All that it does is create for opportunity. But what you make with that opportunity is what you're going to get. Marcus has an abundance, a ridiculous abundance of opportunity, and he's squandering the hell out of it. And he is going to, if he doesn't turn things around, he's either going to die young because of his choices, or he's going to regret his decisions as he gets older. He's 34 now, and he's still in the first act. He hasn't even begun to hit the second act yet. Wait till you're 40, and then you realize that life is passing you by, and you feel the grip of mortality. And you begin to realize, oh shit, I gotta do something, or else my life is useless. I've just pissed everything away. Some people need to have that kind of wake-up experience. They need to go through that. I know I did. I didn't really value much until I hit 40. 35, I started taking things a little bit more seriously, but it wasn't until 40 that I really began to seriously buckle down and realize I have to do something, because life is ticking me by, and eventually I won't be here. And so what will I have to show for it? What will my legacy be other than just sheer disappointment and being forgotten? And sometimes people need to come to that realization that, if they don't do anything, their life is going to be meaningless. Some people just don't give a shit. Other people, they realize it a little earlier on, but not often. And it seems like Marcus is one of these people that is going to have to be shown the way through the heartache of experience. And that's okay. Everyone needs to do their own thing, but there's no such thing as money equaling power. Money just equals opportunity. It's a tool. I don't care how much money Beyonce and Jay-Z have. They're still going to be Beyonce and Jay-Z. Guess what? They have the exact amount of lifespan as the rest of us, and they can't take what they have with them. So it doesn't matter how much you have. It matters what you do with it. Are you going to do good? Are you going to make yourself memorable? Or are you just going to be someone who pisses it away? It's really up to you. I yield the mic.
Let me ask you. So, I got a question. How can I frame this? Is clout a more profitable form of currency versus actually being a celebrity itself? Like, you hear a person rage bait or tag their name to someone else because the person with the actual celebrity generates attention, and if you talk about them, then your name is attached to that, which opens more doors for you. And you said something about it gives you opportunity. Would you say that clout is a different form of currency that's a little more valuable than money?
No. Clout is influence, and influence is an illusion. What influence does is it convinces other people to support you in either attention, time, or resources. But having the resources yourself makes you more capable because you don't have to rely on the influence of others. So think of what's going to be more useful, the mirage of water or water itself?
Yeah, I wondered about that one because you see so many people going out of their way to get attention for whatever reason, positive or negative, and it's almost addictive. I don't think that's what he's doing specifically, but I don't think he needs to, first of all. Secondly, I honestly think something happened, like you said, and he's never spoken about it. And at some point, it's going to come to surface. I'm reading something right here. It says, as of 2022, Marcus Jordan's net worth is estimated to be around 1.5 million. So actually, he did play college basketball, but it never went any further. How does that work? Did you just say to myself, "Oh, this ain't for me. Let me go ahead and do something else"? I'm fairly rich. I don't really have to do this. I can just go and splurge. I don't know. That's just crazy to me to have all of that talent. But I guess the truth is, just because you know how to play doesn't mean that your heart is in it either.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that could be that.
Even if it was, he may have suffered an injury or something else may have happened. He may have screwed up in some other way, or something happened to him that changed his mindset, or he just had a perspective shift. Who knows? The list can go on and on and on as far as why he ended up where he is. He focused on his business with his dad, with a trophy room, or I think his dad helped him open it or whatever. And then in 2016, they were able to get to Walt Disney, but 3 years later, they turned into an online store. Who knows what happened with that? But the fact is, he is where he is, and he's still using his father's name in order for influence, and he's grasping at straws at that point because he's using it for the worst reason possible, to get out of something that he should be held accountable for. So here's the thing with influence. Influence, by the way, is the most powerful thing that you can wield if you know how to wield it correctly. And you know that you wield it correctly because what your influence does is it produces something tangible that is of benefit to others. That is the only time that influence has any real purpose. Because influence is a promise. It is a promise that you are going to lead someone somewhere that will benefit them and possibly you. And when that influence, when the benefit does not equal the influence, that's when it becomes manipulative. But people will still some people will hold on to it because of misguided hope. They are so convinced that someone's going to be able to get them where they want to go. They're willing to hold on even after they should have let go, and still follow the people that are giving them bad influence. Whereas someone who is able to deliver something that is of substance based on that influence, this makes this person truly someone to be respected and admired. This is where real power is. It's your ability to not only influence others, but affect them in a positive way because of that influence. The good that you provide them is greater than what you gain. And anytime that influence is used away from that, it's manipulation. Marcus is a great example of that. When he says, I'm Michael Jordan's son, after he gets stopped by the cop, thinking that, oh, shit, this guy's royalty. We don't have royalty in the United States. It doesn't exist. And this is why I say money is not power. Status is not power. It is an illusion. It will not save you. It'll help, sure, but eventually that's going to run out. Because you're gonna get the wrong cop on the wrong day, or you're gonna be in the wrong situation at the wrong time, and it's not going to do shit for you. I yield the mic.
That's a whole fact. A whole fact. I have a clip here. I'm thinking during it. I don't know. Let me see if I can bring it up though.
Probably just put it in the comments and let people look
I
at
do.
it for themselves.
Yeah, I tried that, and they said the link didn't work.
Boo.
I'm gonna try it again though. It's not really hard to find though. All you got to do is type in Marcus Jordan. It's gonna pull up right away. Like that's the whole focus. They ain't talking about nothing else other than that. DUI, cocaine possession in Florida. I can actually literally just read the article, but that's dangerous to be able to control it. It's very dangerous to be able to have that type of influence over someone where you can manipulate or convince them that they're a butterfly when they really are just a regular human being with 2 feet and 2 hands, but you got them thinking that they can fly to the moon and back in one little swoop, and all you got to do is have the proper PR team, the lighting, the name, and you're good to go. What he's doing here, to me, is just something that a lot of average people do on a daily basis. They go out here, they risk their lives just because they, like, let's just call it for what it is. He's doing pretty much what any normal person who likes to smoke or drink would do, but it's just because of his last name that is magnified as much. Now, I'm not saying men and women are just riding around like Griselda Blanco or nothing like that, but people get pulled over all the time for DUIs and being drunk and this, that, and the third. So this isn't really breaking news to me, honestly. It's just the fact that it's who it is that had a lot of people talking about it. I wanted to get to the bottom of it. I wanted to know. I guess the bigger question here is, do these celebrity children get a fair shot at life? Honestly, forget about the money. You can jump in front of the line at Six Flags and all that shit. Do celebrity kids really truly get a fair shot at life? Because their version of what life looks like versus mine's is completely different to a certain extent. And you would think that their parents are protecting them by keeping them out of certain areas and this, but I don't know. I honestly don't believe that they are really being protected at all. I think they're being shunned. But I mean, that's just my opinion.
Oh, that's a
You know?
good way to frame it. That's a really good way to frame it. Because when you see, I mean, I see this way too often to not be able to agree with you. I mean, there's so much evidence that shows me that these adults who were children are hurting, and they're hurting because they've been ignored. And they've been ignored because their parents have focused on something more than what was really important. And so, yeah, they act out. And then you see it all online. And it's like, I can see maybe like 20 years ago how this would have been a shock factor. Like, oh my God, this person acts badly. What is this world coming to? But it's now it's like, oh, just another privileged asshole that's messing up. No big deal. Nothing to see here. It's become so commonplace that it's like, wow. You can either just act with disgust, give the same kind of expression that SM just did, ugh. Or you could say, what is really going on? And I love what you said there, Mel, where you said they're being shunned. It's like they're being kept in the back and say, be quiet, speak when spoken to. You really don't matter. My importance is what really matters. And kids are like, well, what do I do with that? Unless, of course, I completely misread what you were talking about. But
no. There's been movies where they would try to depict the lifestyle of a rich kid and how that rich kid would get introduced into a world that he doesn't or she doesn't know nothing about. This kid, all they know is schedule, routine, made, nice little chocolate on your pillow. Somebody done already got your clothes picked out for you. You got a car waiting for you every single day to drop you off from school and pick you up. That's their routine. Someone paid to play with you and all that. And then you throw them into a public school. They do everything on their own. They have laws and rules. It's almost like prison where they have their own code and they talk differently than what you're used to. So it's like you're trying to mix salt water with fresh water because your parents, they got this mindset, well, I need to maintain this lifestyle. I got to stay rich. I don't want to go back to being average working. And so I got to be out of the house 5-6 days out of the week, flying constantly while my child is playing with the butler or the maid or some shit like that. They stuck in front of their TV. They don't really have like that bonding with the mother or the father you only see them here and there, and like that's why I said, like, yeah, they're absolutely they're shunned, and I think people associate financial protection or security with development.
The word you used just right there, protection. That is the problem. That is the problem. They focus on protection. Damn, Mel. Usually, I'm the one who's used to being the one spitting bars. But damn, you're killing it, man. Absolutely. You are so bang on. Because the one thing that when you look at the normalized society, what you see is you see people that are rife with community. They're interacting with each other. They're bumping against each other. They're a little bit chaotic, but they're creating this dance with each other. They're communing with each other. And then you've got this distant realm where these people are just like, I need to focus on my money. I cannot go back to where I came from, as if there was something horrible there. And all it is just they didn't understand how to create the community that they were exposed to. They did not make good of their opportunities. And so you see that now they're dealing with this sterilized environment where no community is had, frustrated as hell, because human beings are communal creatures. 3 things that every human being must satisfy: procreation, community, and moral worth. Without that community piece, everything falls apart, because you have to be able to relate to each other in order to be well regulated. It's called co-regulation. You can't self-regulate all the time. It's impossible. You have to co-regulate. You have to connect with others to understand that you are okay, that the people around you accept you for being you, and that you belong. And without that, you suffer so greatly. And I think that that's one of the main things we're seeing here. I was going in a much darker direction, but this makes a lot of sense. Where the idea of just having to maintain keeping up appearances rather than living life, it sucks. If that's what money gets you, if that's what power looks like, you can keep it, because that's a ticking time bomb waiting to explode in your face.
It has to. It has to. And I know the allure of it would be very enticing for the most part. I mean, you get everything you want. You ain't got to really worry about the 1st and the 15th. You ain't got to worry about eviction notices and wearing the same outfit every week. And this, I get that part of it. I get you want to put your children in spaces that are safe, that you don't have to worry about this, that, and the third. However, you know, if you've ever been in that space as an adult, if you ever was broke, poor, struggling, you know how important that element is in developing your character. I can't imagine going my entire adolescence and adult life not having those principles, just being spoiled your entire life, and then imagine just getting all of that ripped away from you. Or you just so used to things being, sorry ladies, no shots at you, but like you just get away with everything until people start telling you no, don't touch this. Now you find out the hard way that working with your hands versus someone else using theirs is a completely different ball game. Camaraderie, how getting in the mud with somebody else, it creates a type of atmosphere that is irreplaceable. You can't mimic that in Mulan on the runway. You can't replicate a real type of friendship that comes from your parents being rich, their parents being rich. So by association, y'all are automatically friends versus you meeting your friend on the playground and somebody gets in a fight, you jump in, they jump in, and y'all have to scrap together. Those are completely different parallel universes. And I think for whatever reason, parents in those areas, they forget that. Either they forget it or they're not accustomed to it. And so I guess, I don't know. Do you think that's on purpose or I don't know. I
don't think it's on purpose. I think it's out of fear. I think that what you see is parents who take the emotion out of decision making because it's unpredictable. They'd much rather deal with logic, all the schedules, all the protocols, everything that has to be done. It must be done in a certain way. This is all logic. Human beings are emotional creatures. We need emotional connection in order to thrive. And in most cases where there is a lot of money at stake, where money is seen as the most important thing, emotions are sacrificed. And then you have people who behave in erratic and unhealthy ways because they have not learned how to emotionally regulate in a way that, as you so well put, that allows them to temper their behavior through experience. There's a term, iron sharpens iron. The iron of life is going to temper you into a finely tuned sword. But it's only through getting hammered the shit out of you are you going to become that. Otherwise, you're just a lump of coal. No one cares about a lump of coal. But once you are able to be finely made into something that is useful, something that has purpose, that is when you find that your life ignites.
Real spill.
Mel, I've really enjoyed this conversation. This has been a great conversation. This took a very different turn, but this was a really good one.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't think it's ever been expressed this way before, and I thought it was important to use this as a case study. I was always curious about it, you know. You see it too often. Jaden Smith, the things that he must have seen, his sisters, just I don't know one child star associated with someone who has not been heavily affected in a negative way from this. So
SM, it wasn't necessarily that Mel found me. I found him. He was posting something on Facebook about starting up a podcast, and I was like, oh, I'm going to interject myself into his world so that he takes notice of me. And that's kind of how this happened.
Yeah. To be fair, everybody up here is pretty dope, man. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Shout out to Sydney. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to Rob. Um, my brother who came up here with us the other week. We were talking about. I can't remember, but that was a pretty good one too, man. I'm gonna have to reach back out to bro, see what he got going on. But now everybody up here absolutely do their thing, man. If you don't get something from me, you're gonna get something from Jason. You're gonna get something from Anna or whoever is up here. So yeah, it's all love, man. And
Sydney, yeah.
I appreciate.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I was reading something. I was trying to figure out what she was talking about here. I don't think Rudy Huxtable was Keisha Knight. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, she was. Yeah, she was. I don't even know how we got there, but nah. Shout outs to SM, everybody that pulled up for the stream tonight, man. Do you have anything that you want to close the show out with?
The only thing that I would say is stop looking to other people as role models. Find out what is going to be your passion and follow that unashamedly. Regardless of what it is, regardless of where it leads you, if you find purpose in what you're doing, that's all that matters. If you are doing something that is going to improve your well-being as well as the well-being of others, you're doing your part. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to be rich. And as we can see, it doesn't always make things better.
And I doubt that any of these rich folks will see this, but I want to tell you something. You're doing a disservice to your children when you essentially just always say yes to them and you're not present. I know it takes a lot to be successful and to maintain it, but you want to keep in mind also too that if you're going to create life in the process of you building upon your legacy, then you might want to take into consideration what you're really trying to feed your children. What do you want them to get out of this experience? We only get one of them. How do you want them to develop as they get older? What do you want them to know? What do you want them to value and take for granted and not take for granted? I just don't think that a lot of what you do is really helping all the way. And I don't think you're purposely doing it, but it's okay to be a little frugal. It's okay to be a little like show some tough love. Like, I don't know. That's just my opinion. Maybe we wouldn't see so many of these kids crashing out. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, though, I appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. Tomorrow, the Addict open mic is back. Pull up, tap in with us. It's going to be a good show. I'm excited for it. Jason, as always, pleasure to have you up here.
As always, it's good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah,
this is a banger for sure.
Y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to the channel. Do me a solid, please.
Push the goddamn button. The goddamn button.
Y'all be easy. We see y'all